Marketing for fitness coaches is all about four things: building your strategy, building your system, coaching through your content, and playing the long game. Today's episode is all about the first piece: building your content strategy. If your content feels like every other fitness coach, we've got a problem. I bet this isn't happening because you don't have your own ideas. It's likely because you haven't built clarity around the way you express them, or what I call your content signature. In this episode, I'm going to help you do that by walking you through a 5-part framework and some exercises that will help you define your content strategy. We're going to cover how to define what you want to be known for, how to put your unique voice in your content, how to reinforce your message without feeling like you're repeating yourself, how to turn one idea into lots of content posts, and how to get started by spotting your content signature in content you've already created. By the end of this episode, you'll have clarity and a filter to go create content that feels like your coaching: specific, clear, and impossible to copy. The first framework I want to walk you through is how to define your coaching content signature. If you have a pen or a notepad or the ability to take notes while you're listening, I'm going to walk you through a series of questions that I want you to answer. And I want you to take time with these and really put in the effort. I promise it will be worth it. The first question that I want you to answer is, what is the core belief that drives all of your coaching? This might be something like consistency over intensity, or master the boring stuff. If you're OPEX, it could be teach, learn, move, create, or the BLGs. These are just examples. You want to go deep here and think about things that are unique to you and things that have the ability for you to create language and references around. The second question I want you to answer is, what is your coaching style? Are you direct? Are you quiet but authoritative? Are you more of a teacher? Are you a storyteller? Do you use humor? Are you a little bit nerdy? You get the idea. The third thing I want you to answer is, what's the one idea you hope someone takes away after watching 10 of your videos? Those three things coming together will shape your content signature. They'll help you hesitate less or remove friction when content creation time comes. This will help you create and share content that is completely unique to you. This is also going to help you create content faster. Anytime you're creating content or you have ideas for content, I want you to run it through this one question filter to make sure that what you create is unique to you and uniquely helpful to your potential client. Does this content idea align with my content signature, meaning my core coaching value, my coaching style, and the one thing I want to be known for? And does it actually help move someone forward toward their goal, also known as the thing that you coach? If it does, here's what you can do next. Take the content idea. Let's say it's something like consistency matters. Pretty generic, accurate, but pretty generic. On the surface, saying something like just be consistent isn't really that helpful. I want you to dig deeper and identify what's missing from that statement or content that's rooted in that theme. That's not saying is that consistency can feel really challenging or near impossible without a system. Then run that idea through your own content signature, your coaching lens, and create your own version. Your version might be something like, consistency isn't about motivation, it's about microstructure. Maybe microstructure is a phrase you use commonly in videos and that your clients have come to know is definitely something you would say to them. Maybe you teach all kinds of behavior around how to develop microstructure. That's how you make content that's unique to you. You don't just say the generic consistency matters or just be consistent. You run it through your content signature and you make it your own. You also make it interesting for the person on the receiving end. All right, moving forward, let's talk about repetition. You might be wondering, if I'm using my content signature in everything that I post, I'm going to start to sound repetitive. And I get that. You hear yourself more than anyone else, so it might feel repetitive to you, but it's going to feel fresh to the person hearing it. The reality is, people don't really remember the details of what you say. They remember the themes that bubble up, and they remember the things that you repeat on purpose. When this feeling comes up, just remind yourself, I'm not being repetitive, I'm being remembered. That's what good content strategy actually does. Here are some ideas for how you can stay on strategy without feeling like you're saying the exact same thing. You can change the story. Tell it through a client win or a mistake you made or a recent conversation you had. You can change the format. Say it in a reel, say it in a carousel, in a 2-camera video, in a step-by-step guide, in a voiceover vlog. You can change the angle, present it as a myth or answer an FAQ or break it down step by step. Consistency in your message is how you build trust. And it's not from a single mic drop moment. It's from a message that people start to recognize as yours. So remember, I'm being repetitive here on purpose. You're not being repetitive. You're being remembered. When you have a message that feels like you don't need to reinvent the wheel every week when it comes to content ideas. You just need a system that helps you show up and create. Here's how to turn one content idea into 10 or more posts. You start with your coaching content signature. And let's say that out of that comes a core theme of structure creates freedom. You take that and you break it down into mini topics or angles. Why does structure matter? What are common mistakes? How have your clients resisted structure, and what happened when they decided to embrace it? What is the emotional resistance to structure? What does your version of structure look like? What did your training look like before and after structure? Then layer in elements of storytelling or how-to. Client wins, personal lessons, a checklist, a misconception, a try this, not that. That's well over 10 content ideas from one core theme, and none of them sounded the same, but they were all anchored in your core coaching belief or your coaching content signature. That's how you go from a collection of random posts to a coaching content library that's uniquely yours. Because strategy creates structure and structure creates momentum. Now, if you're not sure where to start, you have no idea what your coaching content signature might be, you're not sure what your voice is, and it feels like your posts are all over the place, I have some good news. You've probably already started to naturally communicate what might be your content signature. A lot of coaches, or creators for that matter, think they need to find their voice before they start posting. But the reality is they're already using it. They just haven't figured out how to spot the patterns or define it with clarity. Here's an exercise to spot your content strategy, even if your posts feel random. Go through your feed. Look at your last 10 posts, reels, carousels, captions, videos, all of it. Ask yourself the following. What belief keeps showing up, even if it's subtle? What is my tone or style in all of my content, and do I like it? What's the one theme I keep circling back to or around, even if it's not intentional? That's likely the base of your content signature. So I don't want you to get overwhelmed thinking you have to start from scratch. Just start from reflection. Patterns are usually already there. When it comes to marketing and conversation around content strategy, a lot of people focus on the niche. Now, it's really important to know who you're talking to and what client you want to attract and serve. But it's equally important to understand and have clarity around the through line in all of the content that you produce to really create a unique point of view that stands out as yours and can be remembered. This is essential for creating content that is uniquely yours, for giving you consistency to create from, and having alignment in all of the content that you share. Your content signature is really the foundation when it comes to creating content. It makes your content specific, clear, and impossible to copy. Now, I know when you're listening to a podcast, you don't always have a notepad on hand and you can't always take notes. So remember that with each episode, I always publish an episode blog with notes and actionable steps for you guys. With this episode, I also created a very simple Google Doc worksheet for you to walk through and answer these questions step by step, because I know that if you invest the time, what comes out of it will be incredibly rewarding. So snag that. I'll link it in the description below. That's it for today. Remember, just like coaching and training, marketing is a practice. You've got the reps to put in now. Let's put in the work and build the practice. I'll see you next week.